topic of today is challenges facing educational system in Nigeria. Challenges facing educational system in Nigeria. What are the pressing challenges facing both private and public educational institutions in Nigeria, and how do they impact on the quality of education? Dr. Adebayo Oluwatosin.
Now, when we are talking about the challenges facing educational system in Nigeria today, the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, what is wrong with our educational system? Are we improving on it or not? Is the standard improving or deteriorating? Today, many people are complaining. Even our so-called leaders in politics, they are taking their children outside the country. Those that can afford it are sending their children outside the country. Why are they doing that? If our standard of education is okay, imagine the situation whereby an headmaster or a principal of a school will first take his ward or his child or children to private school in the morning before coming back to office where he's working as a principal, which means he's telling us categorically that where he's working as a principal or headmaster of a school or headmistress of that school, that the standard is not okay, because the specialty begins at home. We should be able to market what you have first. I was telling some of my staff when we had meeting about 2 or 3 days ago. I said, if my children are here, by the time they get to the age of going to higher institution, then I will make sure they attend my school. Because I can't be telling people about my school, then I will now send my own child or my children to somewhere else in abroad. So which is part of what we are talking about. Our education system in this country today is facing a lot of challenges. Number one, infrastructure and facility challenges. Okay. If you look at our institution today, compared to other countries, particularly the developed countries, you realize that right from primary school education system in this country, we have infrastructure and facility problem. Imagine students learning under uncompleted building, institution owned by the government. We've seen it, all those things on social media. Yes. No building, collapsed building, inside river, even when there's when rain falls, erosion everywhere, inside the class. And how do you expect such children to learn under that kind of unconducive environment? Then we are blaming that the standard that the children are not interested in going to school because they will not, because the infrastructure. So our government, to me, they are not doing the right thing in terms of infrastructure and facility development in our educational system. So when we have to look at it, there is no way a child will be competent. We're convenient. So it's okay, this is my school, and I'm proud of that school. When that school, it's not even making impact in his life. Now, secondly, human resources. Okay. That's another challenge in Nigeria, our educational system today. Most of the people you are seeing teaching, they are not called teacher. But either in primary school, secondary school, they are not teachers, even to the higher institution. You see them, they are lecturers because they are looking for source of income. What they are doing, do they have passion for it at all? And that's the first thing. Even in private institution, private school in Nigeria today, many are doing teaching job because they are not interested in that job, but they are looking for what that will put food on their table. Then corruption. Okay. That is number one of it all. Every year we hear government, either federal government or state government, make allocation of made budget for education ministry. Are they even utilizing the money the way it's supposed to be? That was the year we organized a kind of a seminar to ask them questions about all the budget being allocated for the Ministry of Education, either state or federal Ministry of Education. Why is it that the same budget of last year, if you go and look at the budget being submitted to the assemblies, either National Assembly or State Assembly, the people in the ministry, they are not being sincere at all. I have to say this, because they are the problem. Sometimes we see the politicians are the wicked ones. But have we ever sacked the civil servants that people call evil servants? Because they are the one in the ministry. Now, last year, the ministry, submitted a budget with buying pencil, buying ruler, buying spoon, buying fork. The following year is still the same thing. They are going to submit. No changes. They will only add 1 or 2 things to it. But what happened to the spoon they bought last year? All those vehicles they bought last year that are still submitting and buying another one, what happened to it? And the little one with them, are they using it in an appropriate channel? So corruption is the number one factor, challenges we are facing in our, and when there is corruption, there's no way a country can develop without education. No country will go forward. Everybody is running to abroad, all because of what they are seeing there. But why? Because there's a standard of education there, and that is it. The education there, I mean, the standard of education is so good to the extent that even if you go to the government institution there, you will think you are in a private institution. They spend the money judiciously. Most of the companies in UK, some schools, people don't understand that most of the institutions, I mean, school in UK is being owned in collaboration with the private enterprise. And those private enterprise is like, just okay, they are doing what they call doing their own, render their own service to the community. Now, but it's being controlled by the government. And you see the standard in that place. Then unemployment, like I mentioned in human resources there. Now, when we look at it, how many people, a lot of people are outside here today. Many schools are in many states today, there is no teacher here at all. Particularly in secondary school or primary school, in the rural areas. And because of that, those schools lack teachers. And they say, when the foundation is rotten, what can the righteous man do? Those that are coming to higher institution today, they from primary school to secondary school, do they have a good standard? No. And that is why you can read that all these things is creating a problem to our society. And at the end of the day, it makes many people to be unemployed. Imagine you apply for a lecturer okay, in an institution. You came for an interview, and at the end of the day, we caught you trying to Google an answer. It shows that it doesn't have a good knowledge of what it's doing. Then how do you want that to work? Then at the end of the day, if you are going to go back home, meaning that what you are unemployed already, there's no job for you. Then we have a government policy. That is another area challenges we are facing every day. Nigerian government, they are changing different policy in the area of education. Well, look at it now. Look at the present policy. Our new minister just came up in the area of establishing an institution in Nigeria. Okay. Number one, to start up a university before, you obtain a form for 1 million naira and processing fees for 5 million. Okay. But today, you came in, not up to 2 months. Application form of 1 million became 5 million. And processing fees of 5 million become 25 million. So what we pay 6 million for is now 30 million. It's not everybody that established university in Nigeria or higher institution in Nigeria today there are politicians that have access to the government fund. And education, like I've said it here before, that education is not a business. Because a businessman, the aim of a businessman is to invest money, then after 6 months or 1 year to start reaping profits. But in education, it's not like that. And even the agency that's in charge, either MBT or UC, they will tell you that, please, this thing you are coming for, in the next 20 years, don't expect profits. If you're a man of 50 years, that you want to set up an institution, so which means that by the time you clock 70, that's why you start reaping the profit of the business money, billions of naira you've invested. But suddenly, all this policy is not helping at all. Employment policy into the higher institution, particularly. They came with a policy sometimes years ago whereby it's okay, and lecturers by the time you clock age of 70 or 70 years, that way you can now retire. But they are forgetting that a man at 70 will start having what they call a partial dementia. What will you give to the student at the age of 70? So those are the different policies that they are giving all the time. There is no consistency in their in their policy. They come up, another one will come today. But tomorrow, if another minister comes, it will change another thing again. Why can't we have a policy that can make our education to be standard? Then we call it political appointment. Okay. I can't imagine you bring in someone that doesn't have educational knowledge into as a minister, as a commissioner of a state. How do you want that state to bring to a state whereby their commissioner there study? It's not even doesn't even he's a lawyer. Commissioner for education. A lawyer, all because you've been there. What do you want him to say about education? Is whatever they are telling me that minister that you will believe. But we have people that study education. We have some professors that understand the system, that know what is good, that you can bring in. But because maybe that professor doesn't have a godfather. So our politicians, they are part of our problem, giving political appointment to wrong people. And lastly, tribalism and nepotism. It's another issue. And challenges we are facing in Nigeria today. We call ourselves one Nigeria. Are we truly one Nigeria? I want to seek admission to a university in another part of the country. It's a federal university. They are telling me that the catchment area is for their state and within their jurisdiction. You want to get an appointment to a federal institution, maybe as a VC or as a rector or whatsoever. It's a federal institution. So far, it's in Sokoto. They can bring somebody from Abeokuta to come and be this thing. I know a university in a state now. It's a federal university. The present VC is facing challenge because it's from Ogun State. Why should it be? You have an institution in Ogun State here. They are saying you are not from Ogun State. They are, why is the man? If the man is not from Ogun State, so it's an established institution in our state. And they are both the Yoruba. So we are putting tribalism into what they are saying. And the government itself, today, if an Hausa man become president today, you will see that all the Ministry of Education will be full of the Hausa man. Likewise the Yoruba, likewise Igbo. Why can't we look for competency instead of looking at the tribe? That I'm a Yoruba man, so it's a Yoruba man supposed to be in this position. It shouldn't be. It's just as a part of the challenge that is giving us problem today in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Mrs. Mogaji, to what extent do parents as stakeholders contribute to the challenges facing educational system in Nigeria, and what roles can they play in solving these issues?
All right, thank you so much. To answer the question, when Doctor was talking, he talked more about corruption. And one of the things I feel that every parent should have at the back of their mind is to be involved in their child's education. When there is an involvement both from the parent side and also from the religious body, it will help the children or the students they are dealing with to be more focused and for them to be able to produce competent and not have big graduates now, but graduates that can stand the test of time. So lack of commitment from parents also will affect the involvement of pupils or doing well in school. Another one, it is also for the role of the community support. So community also have one or two things to play in the role of their individuals. Take for example, when we have the religious, rulers of every community, there's a way in which they can impact the students in their community. They can as well advise them on what to do and also to be able to be a better version of themselves. When a child is properly trained and a child is also trained in a particular community, it will go a long way in the educational sector of every child. So these are the things I can say, yes, it will help when a parent is involved in the educational system of the child. They are also in support of the finances. You see most of the children or students, they will tell you they are the one catering for themselves, whereas it is also the responsibility of the parents to do. So if every parent is committed to this, it will go a long way in shaping the lives of the students and also the community support as well.
Thank you very much. So now we have spoken about the problems. Now, Doctor, what are the potential solutions to address these challenges, and how can stakeholders come together to implement these solutions?
Yeah, it's a very simple something.
Right, sir.
Everything, when we say solution, solution is in the hand of the stakeholders. That's all. Who are the stakeholders? In the education sector in Nigeria today, the parent, the society, they are all the stakeholders. It's just like when we are trying to establish an institution, the agency will ask you that the environment where you want to set up the institution, the stakeholders, the community, are they aware of the institution community? So when we say potential solution is Nigeria generally, the students, number one, their parents, number two, the society at large, even the government. If we can take the idea, a lot of things, we are ready to do it right. Let everybody, let government play their own role accordingly. Let the people at the Ministry of Education, let the government that in charge of the Ministry of Education, let the parents that send their children to the school also sit down, have a round table discussion. During Jonathan, there was a mass failure of WAEC in Nigeria. I can't remember that particular year. We were invited to Abuja to come and discuss some things about the issue, the causes. Now, one of the things being raised on that day, I was part of people that even wrote it down and passed it across that. We are here discussing about the problem of these children. There is no representative of these children. It is to ask them questions. Like Yoruba will say, now, that's all these things that government does, to me, it's like an abracadabra. Everybody have to be involved. The corruption we are talking about is not being done by what? By the animals. It's we, Nigerians. When you take the government budget money for this your ministry, then you commissioner, you minister, do you spend the money the way it's supposed to be? Appropriately the way it's supposed to be spent. Parents, that you are looking for a special center for your kids, are you doing the right thing? Because somebody said it's called 398 in JAMB. It's what we call a mere pause, an advert. But you now went there because you are looking for a special center. Then trying to bribe. We've had JAMB arrested parents that went to go and sit on behalf of his ward during the examination, and so many things like that. It's everybody until we are ready to change. The change we are talking about in this country is not the change that have to do with APC or PDP or whosoever. We Nigerians, we must have to renew our mind to change from the bad thing that we are doing. You can't be collecting bribe from ministry and are using it to send your child to Bangkok or to any institution in Nigeria. Because Harvard is here as a private institution, you don't have money, then you want to bring your child to bring them. The money that you want to use to bring your child to Harvard College, is the money clean? Where are you getting the money from? Is it you are working in a ministry? Then you are not being sincere. Until we are ready to change. Is that change that can bring the potential solution to the problem or the challenges that we are facing in this country?
Thank you very much. We are still going to take our question and answer segment, so don't worry. Mrs. Mogaji, how can technology be leveraged to enhance quality of education and address some of these challenges facing Nigeria's educational system?
All right, thank you so much. The aspect of technology, we know that we are in the era of AI. We need more of this technology in enhancing teaching and learning process. So when we talk about technology enhancing the quality of education, we can say, okay, when Doctor was talking about getting infrastructural facilities available, the government can also get this, and also the private individuals, where they can have access to e-learning platform. You know, every child is entitled to learning online. They have access to mobile learning application, visual library. You know, all these should be placed in, it should be considered for every child to be able to learn and know more about education. Another one, we can be talking about personal learning. You know, going online, everybody has a smartphone now. You can go online to learn more and gather more information about that thing. So it will help every child to be able to have access to learning, not just sitting down in the four walls of the school, but also to go online and get more knowledge about it.
Okay, thank you very much. I know people at home are itching to contribute. So before we go to people at home, Dr. Adebayo Oluwatosin, what role can government policies and reforms play in addressing the challenges facing Nigeria's educational system, and what are the implications of these policies on the sector?
Now, it's a question. Yes. The role that the government policy play in addressing the challenges. Their role is, number one, is to first put the right people in the right place. When we say, let's do things according to the way it's supposed to be. One of the things is that reviving the curriculum of our educational system in this country is the first thing to consider, the policy that government has to look into.
Right, sir.
Our curriculum is backward. The curriculum that we are using, I traveled to one state recently. I was in an hotel. At the back, early in the morning, at the back of that hotel, there's a primary school there. Now, 8 a.m. in the morning, they were doing this thing. I was hearing them clapping and praising God on the assembly. Those things are not helping our educational system. Be praying and be encouraging students how to fast, mentioning Jesus Christ. I'm not condemning being a Christian or whatsoever. But go to abroad, go to China, early in the morning. You will see them, that 8 o'clock, they have different kind of, before lecture starts. Even the time you'll be willing to go to school by 7 a.m. to go to the class, because there are something they do with they call a brain task. Game this. They have things they can do with their hand. But here they are clapping, praising Jesus on the assembly. Those are the things that then our curriculum, like I said, our curriculum is still far back. Thank God now we have some people that are working, trying to that. I said something last week that if you look at what MBT are doing, not MBT, because the MBT have a good leader. The present ES, Executive Secretary of MBT today, was former rector of Kaduna Polytechnic. He's a professor. But what the man is doing a great job. Bringing the current in what is in trend into the curriculum of polytechnics to make sure they are being skillful. Many courses, curriculum today in this country, they are nothing to write about. There are nothing that when you are through with it, there is nothing you can offer to the society. Let that policy be changed. Let government go back and revive our curriculum. Let them look at the curriculum they are using in those countries that have developed and bring them back into our system. Somebody said, Mr. Magaji talking about artificial intelligence now. Let me say AI. How many universities have AI in this country today? Then how many do we even have professors for it? Then they should have sent people abroad. Let them go and acquire this knowledge, and let them come back and start doing it. So that is the first aspect. And we are saying that what are the implications of this policy on each sector? Because the implication is this: when you don't have good people being trained, if you employ them, they'll be giving rubbish. There won't be good output. And that is the problem we are facing in Nigeria today. I can't imagine a graduate of a computer science that cannot even write a basic programming. I can imagine a graduate of how many lawyers today that we have lawyers, even graduates, and recently just this week, over 4,000 lawyers were called to bar. How many of them can go to what? Can go to court and do things according to way, and all of them want to go open chamber. And I remember in the speech of our former CJN, Ariwola, he said something he told them that, look, you people should have to go to pupillage first. That is, acquire training under people before you say you want to open your own chamber. But go to law school, which we have told them that the Council of Legal Education to change the system. So the system is everywhere. That this 9 months, 1 year you are using at the law school is not enough. Change university to 4 years, then let the law school to be 2 years. 1 year at the law school, the remaining 1 year for the extension attachment, both the chamber and the court attachment. But they will not, because corruption is everywhere. So until we revive the sector are the ones suffering, because industry are the ones suffering for all this, because we employ people that are not competent at all. We see somebody study at the secretary administration, he cannot use computer, and at the end of the day, he is looking for a job, or he or she is looking for a job. So we need a serious, a holistic approach to reform all these systems. Without that, we cannot move forward.
Thank you so much, Doctor. You can see the passion when he was talking about, when he was addressing the topic. It's something that a lot of, you see that it has cut across all sectors. It cut across from the government to the parents to the schools themselves. So all stakeholders, must be on tools to address what we have just spoken about. I know people at home are itching to contribute to the program today. So, and our normal massive giveaway segment for the question and answer segment is now. So you can put your pulse through to contribute to the topic and to do the question and answer segment. The number to call is 090 48 881 881. 090 48 881 881 or 081 43 333 830. 081 43 333 830. You can pick your questions and let's do the question and answer segment. And also, Dr. Adebayo Oluwatosin is here and Mrs. Magaji is here if you have questions on what we have discussed so far. Well, let us go to the marketing room. When we come back, we will continue the show.
I will only advise the parents that, particularly at home, that please, it's not about we are talking about Harvard only, but we are talking about the standard and the quality of education that your world deserve. Don't allow your child to stay at home. If there is if JAMB this year didn't favor him or her, look for alternative. Look for alternative. Your child can go and do pre-NG. I look for maybe school that do IGMB or whatsoever. Don't allow them to stay at home. And then secondly, don't allow your child to go and study any course. Many of you are still doing the same thing. Because you want your child to be admitted.
So just go and study. Just go.
By the time the school gives the child any course, just go. But you ask yourself a question: where is your industry? Where is your organization that your child is going to work after graduation? So please, parents, let the watch you. Thank you.
So I think let us take one more call. One more caller.
Straight to the government. The government should put in more facilities that will help the children or the students to also be able to learn.
Okay.
Like Doctor said earlier when he was talking, providing enough classrooms, also facilities, amenities that will help the students to do more of learning. And another thing is the parents, they should be committed in their students or their children's educational system.
Okay. All right, so it's been another very lovely episode of the show. Dr. Adebayo Oluwatosin, thank you for always, impacting knowledge and inspiring people with your contributions to every topic we discuss on the show. Thank you for coming on the show today, sir.
Thank you very much. I thank you our listener too.
And Mrs. Mogaji, it's your first time on the show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for impacting knowledge to everybody, people that are listening at home, and people that are watching us on social media.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.